En dan kan, even kijken, de overlay kan weg. Wacht, ik zal eerst even hierop gaan. Een seconde. Ja. Buenos días. Hoy, miércoles, 10 de la mañana, es el 2 de septiembre. Y aquí estamos, live, con Encuentra, Trabajo con Humor. Mi nombre es Edith Vierhoek. Yo soy coach y entrenadora para el Ayuntamiento de Rotterdam y también para mi propia compañía Trexpats. Y hoy, pues es un día muy especial porque hoy tengo a un colega junto conmigo. Hola. Y mi colega se llama Mark Schwenke, pero, ¿qué creen? Él no habla español.
No.
Así que hoy vamos a hacer algo nuevo. Vamos a hacer el programa en inglés. La razón por cual lo vamos a hacer hoy es de que hoy tenemos dos pues invitados en el programa. El primero es Mark, ahorita le voy a preguntar que se presente. Y la segunda persona es una amiga, Ana Catalina, y pues vamos a hacer un coaching session en vivo. Y como Mark también iba a estar aquí, también va a contar algo sobre su trabajo y sobre cómo hacemos el coaching y etcétera, pues pensamos, ¿sabes qué? Hoy lo vamos a tener que hacer en inglés. Así que para las personas que quieren practicar su inglés, pues fantástico, porque hoy vas a estar súper bien en este programa. Para las personas que piensan, ay, a ver, ¿cómo puede ser? Pero todos los programas aquí son en español, pues perdónenme, lástima, chavas, lástima, querida familia, amigos, conocidos. Hoy lo vamos a hacer en inglés. Anyway, yeah, like I told you, I've got a guest here. So let's introduce our first guest here. My guest is Mark Schwenke, my colleague from the city of Rotterdam. And maybe he can introduce himself.
Okay. Yes, my Spanish is very rusty, so English is better for me. My name is Mark, and just like Edith, I am a coach and a trainer. And I strive to get people a step further, and mostly a step further than they now think is possible. And I've done that all my life. I had my own small company as a trainer and coach, and last 5 years I've been working with Edith to help people who are looking for jobs. So that they can apply for jobs in a better, smarter, more humorous way, and in ways that not everybody does. So that it makes you stand out from the other persons who want the same job. That's it for now.
Yeah. So anyway, let me see if I can put the camera correct again. Yeah. The reason why I invited my colleague as well is. He was, well, actually, no, you tell the reason. Why are you here today?
At this moment in everybody has to do with the pandemic around the globe, and from March on we worked at home, and training and coaching for us just went flat. We didn't have any customers left.
We did. We did, only digital.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we picked it up again, and now we have about 200 people, which we gave training
and
coaching to find a job. But we don't see each other on a daily basis.
Actually,
I've seen her once, or maybe not even once.
No, not even once. Literally, normally we see each other every day.
Yeah.
And literally now it's been 4.5 months, I think, that we didn't see each other. Normally I refer to Mark as my work husband because I see him more often than my husband. And I think it goes the same way for your wife as well. So anyway, we decided to see each other again, and this was our only day off from the city of Rotterdam. So this is why I decided to invite him. Plus, he was very curious how this whole streaming works. So I thought, you know what? what's the better opportunity to invite him and to coach together one of the not clients, but one of the Holandizadas, as they call each other. So that's why I invited him. So anyway, just so you know, like I said, his name is Mark Schwenke. He's a coach and trainer as well. And he's going to be here as our guest.
And maybe you cannot see it, but this is 1.5 meters from each other.
Yeah,
I'm way in the back.
Yeah, that's why I appear to be very fat. But don't worry. Later on, I will sit there and then I'll be super skinny as well.
Let's do this.
Let's do this, yeah. So, today, no. Let me talk a little bit about the past broadcasts. During the past broadcasts, we talked about many different subjects, like your CV, the curriculum vitae. We talked about LinkedIn profiles. We talked about where to find work, about references, what to write on your CV and what not. We even talked about the letter of the motivational letter that you sent together with your CV. And the last 2 episodes of this program, we talked about the interview. And the reason why we've been talking about the interview quite some time now, because this is the 3rd episode that we're going to talk about that, is that it is so intensive and it's so much information that I thought, you know what, if I try to place all the information in one episode, I'm not going to be able to do it justice, So I thought, you know what, I'm going to just spread it out over a couple of broadcastings. And today is a very special day, like I said, because we have 2 guests today. And I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Anna Catalina. Anna Catalina, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you very much.
Yeah, maybe you can introduce yourself. Thank you so much for being at our broadcast. But yeah, maybe you can introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? What kind of line of work are you looking for? And what is your background a little bit?
Hello, I am Ana Catalina Echeverria. I am Ecuadorian and of course a part of Holandizadas. I came to the Netherlands in February this year.
Oh, wow.
That means that I'm brand new with Corona, with everything. And of course, it has been a big challenge for me. I am looking for tools in order to be able to complete my goals. I like to dance salsa. I like to cook. As a real Latina. My goals are in this moment to be successful in my Dutch inburgering exam, then also look for a night job, and of course get really integrated for becoming a Holandizada in the
Dutch citizen.
whole sense of the word.
Yeah, because you're doing the inburgering, right?
Yes, I need to do the inburgering. My partner is Dutch, and thus I need to do that exam and pass it. Okay. I've been studying myself Dutch alone, online for these months, taking advantage of Corona, all that.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm really engaged now in the Dutch thing. I have been learning a lot of things apart from Dutch, also the culture. So I'm kind of ready for that. And I think that I can really grow in first the Dutch, of course, but also knowing more the culture and knowing how to be good in interviews. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
The kind of job that I'm looking for is related to my background. My background is for the past 10 years, I have been a project manager and operational manager.
One second. So you said a product manager?
Project
A project manager.
Yeah.
And
an operational manager.
Okay, super.
I worked in high-tech companies that were providing solutions for enterprises and also service providers who need services and equipment for networking and IT. That, in other words, means switches, routers, servers, storage, all in data centers. So I was in charge of a big team of technicians, and they were doing the delivery and maintenance of those solutions.
Yeah.
That's my background.
Yeah. You're probably in one of the branches that has benefited from the Corona period because of the IT services exploded.
Yeah, sure. I only see challenges and I only see advantages in all these, but of course I laser focused myself first on the language, on the exam, and now I feel myself like ready to go for the interviews and job.
So I'm very curious, Anna, because I literally, sometimes I'm writing down something on my phone, and that's the reason why I do that, is that I've got some ideas for you. And this is literally how we do the coaching as well, but because we're going to talk later about the interview skills as well, of course. But the reason why I wrote down something and I actually sent it to you is that I know a company that does exactly that, and they don't care whether you speak Dutch or not. So are you willing to go for a job that would work in English?
Of course.
Yeah?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
Like I said, I know a company that is looking for product and project managers. So you never know. Maybe I'll talk to you later about that, but that way I remember it, because otherwise I'm going to forget it.
Sounds very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So okay, so the way that you introduce yourself is one of the things that you will see in the interview as well, right? Because what do people do during a job interview? And then I'm talking about the recruiters and the managers that you're going to talk to. They're going to be saying something in the lines of, okay, so I've read your CV, I've read your, your motivational letter, but please introduce yourself. So the way that you introduce yourself, do you have any comments about that?
Yes, I have.
Tell me.
Then I have to go a step back. Normally, we want that people build those little Lego blocks. You know those Lego blocks, and every block is something that you could put on other blocks so that the story will be complete. And the way you introduce yourself is one of those blocks. And this block is big. That you just did a big Lego block. You told a lot, and I had for me. Also, because of the language, I had to it was difficult for me to focus on what you are saying. So if you introduce yourself, it's nice to have a small part of information that you can practice and that you could put on the table if somebody asks for it. And then you can have two choices. One is that it's purely business, like what you did or what your last
what you
job
studied,
was. And the other one is more private, the things you like or things you strive for or what gets you excited. And you can also ask people, do you want it to be strictly business or do you want it to be personal also?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the first step also that I wanted to give as well. Before you start introducing yourself, always ask first, okay, so what do you want to know? Do you want to know more about my business side, my more professional side? Or do you want to know more about my private side, my personal side? Because that way you know where to focus on during the thing that you're going to tell. Yeah, so this is the first tip. But I want to give you another tip as well. It's one of the tips that I gave last time. And it is the way that you tell it. Because you told a lot of things that are very interesting, and that's why I sort of interrupted you. Like, okay, wait. What was it? So project management and how do you say that? It was another kind of management, operational management, right?
Operation, yeah.
Yeah, operations management. So let me give you a tip, and it's one of the best tips that I got from. Well, I don't even remember who told me this tip, but I think it's one of the best tips that I can give every person that needs to go to an interview. And that is that you can do the hand pitch. Do you know what a hand pitch is?
Yeah.
Tell me, what is a hand pitch?
Is a pitch that you make using your hand. And in the first place, you use this one. That means, what the kind of things you like. Then well, the second one.
No, wait. It's not only what you like, it's what you're good at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so what is the thing you're good at? Remember? Yeah. And then
the other one, this one is where you are going to, your goals.
Exactly.
The third one is what you don't like.
Yeah, what you don't like. Yeah.
The fourth one is what you are engaged in.
Exactly. So what is your loyalty about?
Yeah. And the last one is where you need to grow a bit.
Well, not need, but what do you see as your growth? What do you want to grow in? Yeah. So let's try that out, first of all. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but this is exactly how a coaching session works. So this is how we're going to do it. Let's start with the first one. Tell me, what are you good at? What are you good at?
Okay, I'm good at organizing people. Yeah, also I'm good at socializing with people. I'm very sociable. I like to meet people, know more friends. Third one, I'm good at finding solutions for problems. That means being creative.
Yeah.
And the last one is that I'm good at committing, being accountable for a task. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, so tell me, what are your goals? Where do you want to go to, Anna?
My goals.
Yeah, what do you want to achieve?
Well, I want to be a successful project manager and lead people, inspire people, help people. I don't know if help is a common word, but something even more, like motivate, impulse people to be better. That's my ultimate goal.
Sounds a little bit like you have the same goal as Mark. Yeah. So that's super good goal. Okay. And in terms of function, what do you want to achieve?
In terms of function, I want to be somebody who is in charge of projects and make those projects be successful.
Okay.
Regardless of what I need to do. And of course, whatever that involves, from organizing people, time management, customer management, provider management, scope management, and so forth. Yeah,
it's a lot of
every
things.
Management.
Every kind of management.
Every kind of management. Well, very ambitious at least. Okay, so the middle finger. I'm putting it the wrong way, but I won't put the middle finger to you. But okay, so anyway, what is something that you don't like about the line of work that you do? Or maybe in the character of other people, or maybe in the character of yourself? What is something that you don't like?
Something that I really don't like is when people who are working in a project are not committed, are not engaged in the common goal. If we cannot have that, then it's very difficult to achieve our common goal.
Yeah.
That's something that I really don't like, and that also works in real life. It's like if you say something, do it.
Very good,
Yeah.
very good. It places me immediately in a thought. I used to work at a company called Randstad, and their slogan used to be "Say what you do and do what you say." So do what you promised. And I think it sounds a little bit like that. So you like people that are engaged and actually do what they promised.
Yes, exactly. And that makes the whole environment be nice for everybody, because everybody feels that all the rest are accountable, and they motivate themselves to go on with all the things they need to do. And when that happens, the rest of things that produce stress, they become small.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you feel like everybody is supporting you, that you can count on the rest. So that's
Absolutely.
very important for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Okay, so the anular, that's the word I learned last week.
Yeah.
Because my Spanish is not perfect either. So anyway, your ring finger. What are you loyal towards?
I'm loyal to being committed in anything that I engage. Not only work, but my personal life, my family. That is something that I'm really, really loyal. If I do something, if I do start something, I do finish that thing. I'm not gonna, stop in the middle and let something to go wherever. I'm gonna be the person who pulls that or pushes that, depends on what I need to do, to go to a nice end as promised.
Okay,
So
super.
that's something that I'm really committed at. And also, I'm committed at helping others. I really like to help others. And I see myself as somebody who really likes to give services. And if those are friends, also help them. If that's family, also help. I'm very servicial. I'm very committed in that.
Super. So the last point, that is the pink, of course. What is something that you yourself think you should grow at or you want to grow at?
I think that I need and want to grow at the technical part. My background is business management. I studied something called entrepreneurial management in Ecuador.
Yeah.
And then I had also an MBA, which I studied here in the Netherlands, in Maastricht.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, I started working in IT companies, and I loved it. And I, of course, gained a lot of experience in that. But my background is still not technical. But of course, I'm doing a lot of things always to get more certifications, to learn more about it, following courses, reading a lot. So I find that I can grow in that a lot. But it's nice because, that means that I have some motivation to keep on doing things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any comment so far?
No, I'd like to do a little experiment, if there's time for it.
Absolutely. We've got an hour and a half, so
okay.
relax.
Anna, I would like to ask you to do the fourth the ring finger, the angular.
Annular.
It's called. Yeah. But now do it in Spanish.
Okay.
Just in how you normally would do that. And if you're watching at this moment, I would like to check out the mimic of Anna and see if it's any different, her total energy, if it's any different than when she did it in English.
Okay, so
just a little experiment.
Okay.
that way you can rewind it later when you're watching it on YouTube or on Holandizadas, because we're broadcasting on YouTube, on Facebook, on different channels, so you can always watch it back.
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be nice.
Así que,
Nice feedback.
En español, cuéntanos, ¿qué es el anular para ti? ¿Qué son para ti las cosas de cuales tú eres fiel?
Ujú.
A las que tú eres fiel, perdón.
Sí. Bueno, yo soy fiel en hacer que las cosas pasen. Me gusta hacer que las cosas sean exitosas de principio a fin.
Okay.
No me gusta que las cosas queden en medio, entonces estoy muy comprometida siempre. Hago algo y lo hago hasta el final. Digo algo y lo hago. Y otra cosa que también soy comprometida es en ayudar a la gente. Me gusta ayudar a la gente, me gusta ser servicial, no solo en el ámbito profesional, sino también a nivel familiar, amigos, si necesitan ayuda, me gusta dar una mano. Y por eso siempre estoy viendo en qué puedo ayudar, voluntariado, o si es que alguien tiene algún problema, ser la persona que le dé una mano y que le ayude a resolver un problema.
Perfecto, gracias.
Okay.
Did you see a difference?
I did see a huge difference, but first let me check with you, Anna. Yeah. Did you feel any difference between the English and the Spanish version?
Yeah, sometimes with the English it's like I need to find the words to say it, and also now I'm feeling like, yeah, I know 5 languages now, and now I'm feeling like some party of words inside my head because I have been learning every single day Dutch. So sometimes Dutch comes or Spanish comes or whatever, and now I'm with English, so it's like some switching thing that I need to master in some way here.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're looking at this, you will see that your face now also is different, although you're speaking English.
Yeah.
And that's a very important, for us, we say some weird things like everything is energy. Yeah. And it's a weird sentence, but it's the essence of doing interviews.
Yeah.
And everything is energy. We translate that into the clothes you wear have certain colors, and that's energy. The way you use your words express a kind of energy. The way you use your body, like this
and
or like
intonation as well. Yeah.
It radiates energy, and people pick up this energy. And when you look back at your English version and your Spanish version, there's a huge difference in your energy. But speaking to you right now, after you're speaking Spanish, that energy is again in your face.
Yeah.
So what I noticed in your Spanish story, which was very similar, I guess, to what you told us in English.
Yes, it was, absolutely.
In the English version, you were like this. Okay, this is what I do, that is what I do. But in Spanish, it's like, this is what I do, that is what I do, and you're smiling. Yeah. And when you're talking like about your family, your face radiates like this.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference in energy. Although you say the same things, the energy is different. And I think the second energy is nicer. And for you, it's a challenge to translate the energy from Spanish to English or even Dutch.
Yeah.
And I won't ask you to do this in Dutch. Not within 2 weeks.
No, but
nice.
Mark and I talk a lot about the different kind of things that we pick up when we're coaching the people that we coach. And that is one of the things. Well, one of the tips that we give to people is before you go into an interview, or before you're going to write a cover letter or a motivational letter, or before you're going to sort of put yourself into an action of finding a job, the tip that we want to give you is always do something relaxing beforehand. And I don't know what gets you relaxed or what gets you in a sort of positive mood. For me, it's like having a cup of tea, or it's putting on some music, or it could be literally smelling the flowers or taking photographs, because that makes me happy.
Or playing your favorite instrument.
Exactly, playing your instrument, I don't know, but something that makes you happy. Literally do that before you enter an interview, or before you are going to write a cover letter, or becoming busy with your CV, I don't know. The reason why is that literally that energy, and I know it sounds so vague, but it really is true. That sort of energy is going to transcend towards, towards the things that you're doing. We have how do you say that? I've got a training. Well, we've got a training as well, and it's all about body language and all the things that have to do with the body language. And literally, you'll see it later on. When you do it in English, it's true. You become a little bit more like this, a little bit more serious, a little bit smiley. You see that the tone in which I'm trying to talk is very, well, it's not monotone.
No body movement.
But not so much body movement, and it becomes a little bit flat. However, it was difficult for me. But however, when you are trying to tell something with a lot of fun and excitement, and well, not excitement, but more like interest, and literally your face and your movement in your face is going to be different. It's a different energy.
Yeah, you feel more comfortable. More or
exactly. Less. So, okay, let's move on, because I'm very curious. For the people that are tuning in right now, I sent Ana Catalina one of the documents that I have, and I also placed it on the webpage of Holandizadas. I also placed it on my own profile on Facebook as well, and on several locations where it's broadcasted. I placed the document, and it's a document that tells the 60 more common questions during an interview, a job interview. And I'm very curious, Anna, what was one of the questions? I see you laugh already, so I think you already know what I'm going to ask. But I'm very curious, what is the question that you find the most, or one of the most hardest questions that you read on that document?
Well, I cannot say that a lot of them were easy. You know, I was kind of, I was like, what kind of question is this? Why are they asking this? But
just let me tell you for the viewers. So this document contains different kind of questions that you can expect during an interview. The way that it starts, the document, and I can place it again later on again, so you can find the document as well. It has weird questions that totally get you out of balance. It has personal questions. It has questions about your education and your background. It has questions about your former work. It has questions about yourself, so quite personal questions. And it has different kind of questions, because it's not always going to be the same interview, of course. But I'm very curious, Anna, for you, what were the most hardest questions to answer? Because maybe we can help you in that as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell more than one, right? But to start, one question that was really weird for me, and I really didn't know how to answer in that moment, even though I was really comfortable and not stressed, was like, if I were part of a wall, what part of the wall would I be?
Would you be? Okay.
Wall.
Okay, let me explain this. Because otherwise people are going to think like, what? What is she talking about? Okay, so in one of the sections of this document, we talk about, or I wrote a couple of questions down that you could expect that are weird questions. Now, first, let's analyze the question. because they're asking, if you were a wall, what kind of part of the wall would you be? Of course, they're not asking about the wall. They're not talking about the literal sense of a wall. I mean, we're not talking about the bricks here in the wall.
Well, we are.
Well, okay, now we are. But no, that's not the meaning of the question. In your eyes, before you answer the question, what do you think is the actual thing that they're asking?
When I read that, I said, okay, they are trying to know in which part do I put myself, like under others, the same level, maybe in the middle, for example, of the wall, and looking at them in the same way, or over others, like I see them from above, and I think that they are less than me or something. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay. Could there be some
Good
other
thoughts,
good thoughts, but could there be some other thoughts as well, Mark? What do you think?
Of course, there could be. It's also a way to test your creativity.
Yeah.
And it's also a way to test your stress level, how you can cope with that, because it's a very out of the ordinary question.
Yeah.
And maybe the answer doesn't interest them. It's just more that they want to see how you react to something that's unusual. It's also a possibility. But maybe you are the door, or maybe you are a window, or maybe you are the cement between the bricks. I don't know. That can and that can say something about your quality.
But also on the way you think. So for instance, when I read that question, I read something completely different than you did. I read it more in the sense of fundament. And I thought, okay, if I place myself in a structure of the company, where do I see myself? Do I see myself supporting other people? Then I would be in the lower part of the wall. Or am I the cement that is trying to, like Patrick said, Mark.
I'm not your husband, I'm your work husband.
His name is Patrick. Oh, sorry. Anyway, or am I the cement that's trying to hold everything together in the team? Or am I the outside of the wall, just a pretty bit, the thing that only the other people see? Or am I some kind of wire in the sense that I give the company or the department that I work in strength? So you can see it in so many different ways, but exactly what Mark says, I think it's one of the ways of the companies to check on you. Like, okay, first of all, how do you react? Do you become stressed out because of a weird question? Or are you creative enough and, how do you say that, sort of stress enduring enough to come up with an answer and explain your thoughts? Yeah. So let's see. What would you answer towards this question?
Well, now that I hear your insights, first I would say that I would be definitely the middle part of the wall, because I always see everybody as equal. I don't like to see people from above. Or also, I don't like to see people as over me. And definitely I will be as the bond between the bricks, because I really like to support all the team, all the people, and make things happen.
Okay. And when you think of let's say I'm the employer right now. Yeah. When I place someone in the middle of the wall, do you also place yourself in the middle management, or do you place yourself in the doers or the management side?
My experience is middle management. That's what I'm good at. Of course, I also enjoy being part of a team, not like managing people, but being part of the team where all of us are acting as members and nobody manages. Yeah, both sides for me are perfectly okay. There's no problem.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so do you have any comments, by the way?
No. With these questions, there is no wrong or right.
Exactly.
It's just the way that you cope with the questions. And again, energy is everything. So the way, if you're looking like this, well, I don't know. I think it's different than, nice question. Well, maybe I am somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Then that's a totally different energy.
Yeah. So I'm very curious. What is another question that you found extremely hard to answer?
Another question that I found hard to answer and a bit, funny when I was reading it was like, how can I make you cry?
How could I make you cry? Yeah. Okay, so you chose almost...
Even that one is new for me.
Yeah.
So how would you answer this?
I would say you can make me cry by saying jokes, because I can cry by laughing a lot. I like to cry when laughing a lot about jokes.
Okay.
That's how you can make me cry.
So, okay, let's do that. Tell a joke, Mark. Okay, so I can make you cry when it's something positive, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Crying from laughter.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think that's a super good answer. And I honestly think you give away so much of your character when you give that answer, because it makes you come across as someone that likes to laugh and will totally go with you in your journey to laughter, you know? So yeah, I think that's a good question, a good answer.
And it's also a nice answer because there is an invitation to the other person to do that and to tell a joke. So you're opening up the conversation also.
Yeah. So super good. Yeah. I'm like,
nice.
where's my thumb? Anyway, okay.
Edith?
Yeah.
There's no, it's not a trick, but there's something dangerous about a list of questions. And the danger in it is that you're gonna react to the question, because our mind is trained to react to questions.
Yeah.
If I ask you a question, Anna, will you answer it?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm just asking you a question and your mind goes looking for the answer. And if you look at all those questions, there's the danger that your mind is only looking at the answers to that question. And that it's not an interview, but it's more like, how you say it, when the police ask you things?
It's how do you say that? It's a hard interview. Now, how do you say that?
It's like, yeah.
In the Dutch language, it's called a fire squad. Because you're firing questions towards the other one.
Interrogation.
Yeah. Thank you. So when the other one is only posting questions, and you are like this rabbit, and you're only answering the questions.
Yeah.
And that kills off a bit of the dynamics in the conversation. So just remember that you also have the right to ask questions.
Yeah.
So if I ask you a difficult question, it's also your right to give a question back. What do you mean by that? Why do you want to know this? What you're looking for, like more the business side or the personal side, and in asking these questions, you also show them that you're up to the challenge with them, that you are a sparring partner.
Yeah. So we actually have an exercise in which we It's a little game. Maybe we can practice that as well, because this gives you the opportunity to literally practice and to understand how you can ask a question about a question. I see your face like, but maybe we can do that as well, because this is also a part of learning not to answer immediately, but first finding out what they're talking about. Yeah. Okay, let's do this exercise, because I think it's a good one, and I think it's a good thing that you mentioned it, Mark.
Yeah.
So the little game that I want to practice with you, the exercise that I want to do with you is a sort of a game. Literally, Mark is going to invent a subject. Yeah, doesn't matter what, he's going to say a subject. You're going to ask me a question, but I'm not going to give you an answer. No, I'm going to ask you a question back. And that way we're going back and forward until one of us is finished. And one of us gives an answer. Yeah, because you're not supposed to give an answer. You're supposed to ask a question. Yeah? Okay. Can we do this?
Yeah, and then I have to add something. Your question has to lead the conversation on.
Yeah.
So if she asks from where you're living, you cannot say, why is your hair green?
Yeah.
It has to be a reaction on her question, and it has to help the conversation to the next level.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, okay, let's try it out.
Okay, Anna, so your first question...
Subject.
Yeah, first subject is you're entering a Mexican restaurant. And you're meeting this beautiful lady. What's your question?
What kind of food in a Mexican restaurant do you find the most delicious and the most exciting to have?
Are you asking me?
I am asking that. Is that your opinion?
But you see, that was first sentence answer, and then you came with a question. So, okay, let's do it again. You have to answer it immediately.
Always question, right?
Exactly.
Question back. Okay.
Okay, let's do it again.
So you entered the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Would you share a shot of tequila with me?
Are you already drunk?
Are you drunk?
Why do you think I'm drunk? I work here.
Since when do you work there?
Have you seen me 2 years ago here?
Do you have a fixed job or temporary job?
Why are you asking me this?
Do you have more colleagues that work there with you?
Very good, by the way. Can't you see them around me?
Are those people your colleagues or your friends?
Would it be better if they were my friends?
I get the point, and you get the point.
Exactly. So this is one of the things that you can do when you are being asked one of the weirder questions. So what is the reason that you're asking me this? When it comes to not so much the weird questions that were in the document, but the more, let's say, serious questions, what is one of the questions that you found more difficult to answer?
One of the questions that I found difficult to answer is that question about how I see myself in 5 years and 10 years.
That is a difficult question.
But why do you think that's a difficult question? It's
a difficult question because they are trying to find out if you are somebody that is willing to be there, like for a temporary or middle time, or for a long time until retirement or something.
Yeah. But is it only that, or is there something more about that question?
Also, I think that they're trying to look about your goals in general, your way of being, your goals, not only in the professional, but also in your personal life, what you find important. As a woman, also, for example, my priorities, if it is work, if it is my family, if it is personal growth, what is important for me. So in that way, I develop myself, and in that way, I go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that exactly the reason why I ask you this is because this question it has so many layers. It's not only about, okay, are you loyal towards the company and are you going to stay here or not? But it also means exactly what you say. How ambitious are you? What are your goals? Do you want to grow further, or do you want to stay in the position that you're at? Is your family more important to you, or do you want to grow within your work, or maybe both? I don't know. And of course, especially being a woman, I know, sorry, Mark, to talk about this subject, but we have to talk about it, is that some companies, of course, they want to know, like, okay, so how old are you, Anna? Tell me, how old are you?
38.
Okay, 38.
38.
So you're 1 year older than I am. So do you have children?
No,
You don't.
I just married 1 year ago,
Okay.
and I just came 6
Congratulations.
months ago. So
Yeah.
brand new in this in this family living. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can imagine that a part of this question, and I'm seeing you struggle with this question as well, could be like, do you want to have children?
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually that's a hard question for me, because actually, yeah, it's not about wanting to have, but also my age is some struggle to have. Yeah, at my age, that's something even more difficult in the personal life.
Yeah.
You have not so many years remaining for that. So,
Yeah, that's true.
And it's a great example of everything's energy is when they ask you this question.
Yeah.
This energy that you're now talking about is triggered for you in your system.
Yeah.
Probably subconscious, so you don't know that it's triggered, but maybe a kind of a part of the stress of that question is coming from this subject.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true, but it's just something that I'm
noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but let's try to answer that question. So imagine I'm again the employer, the manager, whoever you're talking to, and I'm going to ask you the question. So Anna, tell me, how do you see where and how do you see yourself in 5 years?
in 5 years, I see myself as a person who is doing what finds nice and happy thing to do. Be satisfied with the job. Developing myself.
I'm gonna highlight you here. Wait. Because the answer that you're giving me is very vague.
Too vague.
Yeah. When you're saying, yeah, I find myself doing things that I like, honestly, you didn't give me an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And especially here in the Netherlands, they can be quite, well, I don't want to say mean, but very straightforward. Yeah, very blunt about like, okay, I'm sorry, but that's not an answer to my question. So
Okay.
when you're saying things like, yeah, something that makes me happy, things that I like to do, things that are nice, you have to be a little bit more specific. I'm not telling like, oh, I want to be writing a document, etc., etc. No. I mean, but you need to be a little bit more specific so I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's try it again. So, okay, Anna, tell me, in 5 years' time, 5 year time, where do you see yourself, or what do you see yourself doing?
In a 5-year time, I see myself in the project management, leading people, helping people to develop, giving workshops on project management, teaching Spanish, because I also like to teach that, and I have also gone through a Spanish teacher for foreigners certification, so that's also nice. And having my life already set here in the Netherlands, as I am new now, but in a 5-year period, I'll be totally set here in the Netherlands with a very good level of Dutch, and also working with people who speak Dutch. There's a big challenge, but I see myself like that. And planning, looking forward to have babies.
Okay. Okay, very personal answer as well, but okay, I congratulate you with that. Did you see something? Because I saw something, but maybe you saw what I saw.
Tell her.
Okay, there was very specific thing when you were talking about, like, okay, giving training towards this, and doing project management, etc., etc. Blah, blah, blah. Literally, your face went like this, and this, and this, and this. Look at my face right now, yeah. And then you started talking about, and I would like to give lessons in Spanish towards foreigners, because that's something that I got. Literally, your face became completely positive. You smiled about it, like, oh yeah, I got my certification, and you were so positive about that. Try to maintain that positivity also in the other answer.
Okay.
Did you notice it for yourself a little bit or not?
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. That gives me excitement. So yeah, that's to be reflected.
Even now that you're talking about it, literally your face blooms up, you know. And so when you're talking about the future in a positive way, try to maintain that sort of like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, etc., etc., you know, because that way it gives off so much positivity. That is what we're looking for.
Okay.
Did you see something else?
How much sense does this make for you, Anna?
Sorry?
Does this make sense for you?
Yeah, totally. Because, you know, something, for example, now I am trying to look at the camera, not to the screen, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, for example, something that happens to me in an interview is that sometimes I see the reaction of people towards my answer, and then I get that energy, and then sometimes that energy gets into me, and that makes the whole environment like that. I'm easy to absorb energy, and yeah, I'm trying to now don't look at you, as I want to really look at the camera in order to show that I'm making eye contact now. Yeah. But normally, if I see people, for example, if the person is serious, I'll be like, okay, but serious also. And yeah, that happens to me often. Yeah.
Well, it's a great quality. It's a great quality to absorb the energy and know what's going on in the space and with the person in front of you. So don't lose that energy, or don't lose that quality. And I want to add something, because it looks like, the way we say it, it looks like you have to be happy and preppy all the time. Oh yes, I'm the greatest and I'm the best, and you want to have me, yeah. But that's not what it's about. It's about a knowing how you're acting in conversations.
Yeah.
And knowing that some acting you benefit from, and some acting is gonna push people away.
Yeah.
And again, that is also the case for everybody. But probably, I make a wild guess. I guess your network of people you know in Holland at this moment in businesses is small. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct. It's actually it tends to more to zero than to infinite. Yeah.
And if your network is very small, then you have to, in order to find a job, then you have to react to these advertisements, or you have to react to jobs that are
available.
Open,
the
available.
vacancies. The
vacancies.
Yeah.
But if you look for that, other people will look at that too, and therefore you know that when you apply for that job, other people will also apply. And at this moment, a lot of people are applying for jobs in the Netherlands. So you can be sure that if your network is small and you react on applications on the internet, a lot of people will do that. And then they have a lot of people to look at. And if I have a company and I can look at, maybe I'm gonna do a job interview with 10 people. Probably that's a lot. But let's say I do it with 7 people. What I then I'm going to do, I'm going to ask questions, but in my subconscious, I'm going to compare their energies.
Yeah.
I'm going to compare who's up and jolly. I'm going to see if they're serious, if they need to be serious. So we're talking now about details, because details make the difference now if you're compared to a lot of other persons.
Yeah.
And at this moment, one of the details you mentioned is one of the most important details is there's a lot of digital communication going on. And as I say that, I'm looking at your picture, but it's below the camera. 8 out of 10 people will do that when during a job interview. They will only look. I'm looking at you now, like now, but I'm not looking at you.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. We see it all the time. People don't look in the camera. And when you have a digital conversation like this and you look in the camera, there is a huge difference than when I'm looking like this.
Yeah.
So it's a detail. It's a detail, but it's so important detail for that. So keep looking in this camera. Ook al is it's weird because you see those movements below. But this is the place where we make contact.
Yeah.
Not when I look in your eyes, when I look in the camera. But it's not normal for us.
No, but I think that in this specific case, Anna, I really want to congratulate you, because you do sort of have the knowledge on how to talk to the camera and really make that connection. And what I saw when you were talking about your certificate that you got about teaching Spanish towards other people, literally your face lit up, but you were talking towards the camera and you really made that connection. When you try to do that more often, but when you're talking also about the other stuff, I think that you will even make more impact on the persons that you're having the interview with.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'm very curious. Is there another question that you would like to talk about?
Yes. On turn, as the previous question that I was saying about how can I make you cry, there was one question that was saying, how can I make you angry? Then I cannot talk about any joke anymore, right?
If you tell me a very bad joke, I will totally be angry because you wasted my time.
Yeah, sure.
No, well, actually, okay, so let's peel off the layers of this question as well, because this is one of the questions that I think is again a question that has many layers. What are they actually asking, do you think?
They are trying to know, maybe your weaknesses. what leads you to not focus on work and be angry towards something instead
Remember
of
the middle
being
finger? A little bit the middle finger within the hand pitch. Within the hand pitch. This is a little bit what they're asking about, but not only the middle finger. It's also more about your character and how you would react towards someone else. Last week, I don't know if you saw the episode of last week.
Yeah. I saw the replay.
Very good, don't worry. But one of the things that I talked about last week is that when you're talking about the middle finger within the hand pitch, you're actually talking about the things that you don't like within your job. But not only that, I also talked about the STAR method. I don't know if you recall that.
No, I didn't watch the whole thing, just that part.
Don't worry. Towards the end, STAR method. And STAR stands for a couple of words. In English, it's actually for, and by the way, you write it down as STARR. So the S stands for the situation. The A stands for action. The T stands for task. The A stands for action. The first R is for result. And the second R is for reflection. When you are being asked something like, okay, how can I get you mad? Or have you ever had a discussion or maybe a fight with a customer or with a colleague or maybe with your manager? Then they're actually asking very subtly about the STAR method. Okay, what you do when you're talking about the STAR method is basically you think of a situation when you were angry within your job, or maybe not angry, but upset, or maybe something didn't work out. And take that example for you in mind, and you're going to explain, so what was the situation? What was my task within that situation? What action did I do to make it better or to make it go away? What was the result of it? And how do I reflect on it? So what is my reflection on it, looking backwards? So this is a little bit of the tip that I can give you with that specific question. When they're asking you like, okay, how can I get you angry? Think about the STAR, yeah?
Okay.
So let's try to answer, because do you think there's any other layers, Mark?
Yeah, for me there's one other layer before we go to the STAR. When there's also the possibility that with this question, how do I get you angry, is that they're asking what your values are.
Yeah.
Because when your values are attacked, you're attacked at the core. And this is the point where you get angry. Yeah. Otherwise you get upset or irritated, but you get angry when your values are tread upon. So maybe it's also a possibility to tell something about your values.
Yeah.
Like when you really can get me angry when you don't do what you say, because what's important for me in my work is something like that.
Yeah. It's a totally different approach, right? From what Edith told.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is why there are so many layers within that question, and it totally depends on how you want to answer it. And not only how you want to answer it, but also and that is something that you can ask during the interview. Okay, so what is it exactly that you want to know from me? Do you want to know what my core values are and how they would be compromised? Or do you want to know, like, have I ever been in a sort of, I don't know, maybe fight or disagreement within my work, and how did I handle that? But you can ask that. You don't need to give answer right away, you know. Exactly. Yeah. You don't need to be the bunny, the obedient bunny, you know. I'm gonna place a new banner here, obedient bunny. No, but you don't need to be the obedient bunny, but you can ask a question like, okay, what is it actually that you want to know within this question? But let's try it both ways. Let's try first Mark's way. So what is, let's try the middle finger and your core values.
Okay.
Yeah? So tell me, Anna, how can I get you mad?
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about some situation that happened that actually made me mad. This situation was, I was in the middle of a business meeting, and I was telling my team that we're going to build their career development path.
Okay.
And of course, I began saying that I'm going to start with each of them in private to tell them what's their career path. So I began, of course, I asked later one of my team members to come to my office, and I was telling her her career path that I have developed it myself, taking into account what were the company goals and etc. So she came and I told her that, and as an introduction, she was in that moment 5 or more years. She has been struggling with her salary, for having some more salary. Okay, so yeah, I was explaining. She was listening, and suddenly she was asking, so how is this going to be related to my salary? For example, if I meet these goals, are you gonna raise my salary related to each of those goals that or milestones that I meet? And my answer was depending on other things too. It's not only related to those milestones as technical hard skills, but other things that we are going to look at. In that moment, I was my task was to tell her that, to make her agree on that. So I have something written and sign it, and we can go with that for planning her certifications as technical. And yeah, like she in that moment got angry. And she said, okay, this is not something fair for me. I have worked here for more than 20 years. I have been struggling the last 5 years for having some rise in my salary, and nobody has heard me. I feel that I'm not being valued by the things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And she got herself angry and angry, more angry, and then she left. She stood up and left.
Okay.
So in the first moment, I was mad myself, and I was, kind of stressful. And first I thought, okay, I'm gonna look for her and tell her that that's not the way to act. And also I'm gonna talk to my boss and tell him that she is not the one to be there, that she needs to be fired or something. And then I'm going to talk to the team and say, okay, nobody can act this way. Mm-hmm. But then I gave a second thought myself, and I said inside myself, okay, I'm going to calm down. I am the boss. She was shouting. She was angry, and she left. That's not the best situation to be in. But I am the one who is leading this team. I'm the one who needs to teach the others how to act. So I'm not going to do anything for now, I'm gonna let her calm. And then when she is calm, I'm gonna talk to her in another way, in some other time when I see that she's calm and also I am calm.
Yeah.
So what actually happened is that I continued doing my normal work. In that day, she left. She went home. She was not there anymore. The day after, she came, and I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna act normally, like nothing happened. And she was more surprised, actually. She was like, why she's not mad? And there was actually something that she did that I didn't know. In that day, she had actually gone to my boss, but also to the general manager to talk to him about me, saying that that she the same. She feels not valued, that she has done so much for the company, and that she wants to quit.
Mm-hmm.
So she went even farther with her madness. But that happened the day before. The day after, she was surprised. She was like, oh, yeah, her face showed surprise. And I was acting normally, and I was kind with her. And so, I continued. And after lunch, she asked me, can I talk to you? Actually, I didn't have to tell her, shall we talk or something? Yeah. So I said, of course. And we met. And then she said, okay, first I want to apologize myself because, I was kind of passing through a very bad situation in my family. And also these days have been really stressful for me. And all was kind of super difficult for me. And then you came up with this. So I just exploded. I really didn't want to shout or leave. I know that this is not the way to act. And actually, she told me that she went to the manager and told that. And again, that was my second time when I was, okay, calm down, because, I didn't want to react the same way. And I said to her, it's good that you recognize that you were not acting that way. Yeah. It is okay if you don't agree with something, or if, for example, you have something that you want to tell that is not good in that moment when I'm telling something. But first, also think that you have been working here for more than 20 years. And what you actually did is leave the room. So what kind of image do you think you projected on me? Even if I wanted to raise your salary, that wouldn't have been the way to do it.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a really good lesson learned for you, to know that it's never good to let your feelings, emotions, whatever is happening to you, to let that get into you and project in a bad way that is going to lead to bad results for yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
And she said, sorry.
Okay.
Was it?
I'm gonna time it. Okay. So thank you first of all for the explanation, for the very extended answer. But there's a but. I think that when you are answering this question very specifically, you get into the emotion again. Did you feel that you were back in that? You went back to that company. You went back to that same old spot, and you sort of. I could feel your anger, like, oh, and then this happened, and then this happened, and So, okay, maybe you can a little bit of a coaching on that. How can we sort of manage to make it a little bit more, well, first of all, shorter. And second of all, that we don't go back towards that anger again. Yeah. Because then literally by me asking you this question, the question was, how do I get you angry? Is literally you went back to that anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you saw that?
It's difficult, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing to get back to the emotion. That's because then it's genuine, then it's real, then people know this is really you.
Yeah.
But it becomes a problem when you have difficulty stepping out of that emotion again and going on with the story in a more business-like way.
Yeah.
So I heard two things. Let me check with you, Anna. One is maybe you got too much back into the detail and the energy of that situation.
Okay.
And the other one is it was an extended version. So how can we shorten this?
Yeah.
Okay. Summarize.
To begin with the last point, what I hear in your story is that you're building up to a punchline.
Okay.
You're building up to the lesson you have learned from that.
Yeah.
And one tip to shorten your story is when you and you didn't have time for that now, but in upfront you're gonna think of what is the punchline of this story. And again, it's like this Lego block. It's something you can think about and work on, so that you can put it as a part and put it in your pocket, and when you need it, you can put it on the table. And first of all, you think about what is the punchline of this situation. What is the lesson I want to share with my partner? Do you have a punchline or a lesson learned? You can
yeah.
in one sentence.
Yeah, the lesson learned is to be able to manage stressful situations and not let bad situations from others get into you and stop you going through with your work. Okay,
so this is the lesson learned. It's a powerful, I would say, punchline.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it isn't strange, or it's even more powerful to start off with the punchline. So how can I get you mad was the beginning question. Okay, nice question, interesting question. First, let me start with the lesson that I learned from a situation where I went mad. And what I've learned was, tak, 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 tak. Then you have your most important message. It's upfront.
Exactly. It's in the beginning. Yeah.
And then you can tell more about the situation. You can even ask, this is the lesson that I learned. Do you want to hear more about the situation? And maybe you say, yeah, tell me. And then you say, okay. And then you go,
do you have a moment?
and yeah. Maybe they say, no, it's okay so. Okay. Then we're back in the other conversation, another question, something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because what you want to do again is giving answer immediately, but wait. You don't know exactly what they were asking. Mm-hmm. Because the question is so fake and it has so many layers that you don't know which layer do they want to hear. And as soon as you ask the question, like, okay, what is it exactly that you want to know? Do you want to know how I react, or do you want to know my character, or do you what is it specifically that you want to know? Because this way you get an answer, and you can give therefore an answer which is a little bit shorter, a little bit more precise, and well, not too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. And for the second part about the emotions, first I wanted to
about the values, right?
Yeah. I have another question for you. Are you somebody that's feeling emotions easily?
Yeah.
Are you a passionate woman? Do you feel all those feelings, and people can notice that in your face or your body language?
You mean if I, in a situation, in a job, if I am empathetic, or if I lead to situations get into me and interrupt my job, for example? What is that you mean?
Both. That's
Both.
exactly, you did exactly what Edith told you to do. Try to yeah, I have to to make my answer specific. And it's an answer to both. I guess you are empath, so empathy.
Empathetic.
You have,
Pathetic.
No.
Pathetic.
yeah, you are like that.
Yes, I am. I like to help people. I enjoy giving support to others, making people solve their problems and make life easier.
Yeah, and I guess that one of the qualities is that you can feel a lot of emotions in your body, or you can feel how the other person is feeling.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to know that.
Yeah.
That way you can always feel what is going on and react in the best way possible to not lead into some trigger for a fight or some anger there.
Yeah, so it's a great quality of you. Don't lose that ever.
Yeah.
Ever. But for you,
Thank
there's a challenge also in it, that that you have the capability to feel the emotion of you and of the other person, but that also you can release that and you can go on in a more business-like way. So, okay, I felt that this is important, or I felt I'm getting angry, or I feel that you struggle with something. I feel this is a sign, it's a quality, but now I have to release it, because now I have to go further on. I have to make you sign something that says what you're gonna do the rest of this year and your milestones.
Exactly.
Is that something that you're capable of yourself?
Yes, I think that I have developed it since I have had a lot of situations with clients, with colleagues, with boss. Yeah, I've developed that capability of being sort of not poker face, but going in an easier way, taking it easy and going on, not worrying so much.
And is there something like a symbol or a word or maybe even a sound that reminds you of that quality, that you can feel what's going on, but also can get some distance to be businesslike again? Is there something that reminds you of that?
Yeah. For example, my boss, my ex-boss, he used to be really sexist. And yeah, he was always telling things about women in a really bad way.
Okay.
Yeah, at the beginning it was like, what's going on? But then I said, okay, this guy is like that. So yeah.
Okay, but wait. I need to say something here. I need to say something here. When you are talking about former bosses, please, of course, we don't know who your former boss is, but never say something negative about them. And
Okay.
certainly not on live or during an interview or whatsoever, because when you say something negative about the former company that you worked at or the former bosses or colleagues that you worked at, they might be able to think, if this is the way you talk about your former companies, how will you talk about us if you leave us? So always keep that in mind, that you can never talk negative about a former boss or a former company or whatsoever.
So good tip. Yeah.
Yeah, but tell us, don't worry.
And yeah. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you were expressing that you had a situation where you felt, hey, this is weird, but you could get some space between you and the other person by, okay, saying, this is him, I don't have to be emotional about it, this is him, and I have a cleared space between us.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like being mad, but continue working because you know that any person can be passing through a difficult situation or have a weird or in your eyes weird kind of thinking.
But it's this manner of acting that you do that's suited for some situations, and you can use this example as a reminder when you are in like a conversation or questions, and you're noticing, oh wow, I'm feeling all those feelings, or maybe it's from the other person, or maybe I'm emotional myself, and it kind of blocks my ability to be more business-like at the answer at this moment. Then it helps to think of that situation like, wait, I can do this, I did this before. And maybe it helps also to write a symbol or something on a notepad. Do you have a notepad with you when you have job interviews?
Usually not. I don't know. Is that a good idea to do that?
Great tip. Always bring a notepad.
Yeah, bring a paper, bring a pen. If you have like an iPad or something like that, a device in which you can write down or type down something very fast, then sure, you can do that as well. But preferably pen and paper, because that way, even when someone else is talking, for example, you can write something down, or maybe there are some questions that you already had before you went into the interview, write them down and you have them with you. And this way you're not like becoming nervous in the sense that, oh shit, maybe I forgot the questions, maybe I don't know exactly again what I wanted to ask. No, you always have it with you, and it's a sort of security blanket. Let's go that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, really? It's how they call it. Yeah.
Okay.
And also shows interest, right?
Absolutely.
Like, okay, that person is saying something important, so yeah, I need to write it down.
Exactly. Even one of the things that you can do is, for example, let's say that you don't know the answer to a certain question. It might be technical, or it might be something that has to do with the real content of the position. You can write down the question and let's literally answer them like, sorry, I don't have the answer to that question, but let me look it up for you and I can always come back with the answer. And that way you come over as prepared, and not so much that you're giving a fake answer. And well, in Dutch, they say that you suck it out of your thumb. It's an expression. But no, that way you come across as someone that is serious, and even when they don't have the answer, they're willing to looking it up. So that's yeah, absolutely. Have always paper and a pen with you.
And what's nice is that you can put on the first page, you can put little reminders, maybe symbols, maybe a Spanish word that I don't understand. That reminds you. That are reminders of situations where you coped with being mad, of a situation where you coped with being overly emotional. So that you, oh wait, this reminds me of that situation. This is an equal. I am capable of being more businesslike in an emotional setting, for example. And this is just an example, because I'm not saying you are emotional and not capable of being, but it gives you the opportunity to put little reminders that remind you of solutions that you had in the past, where that you can use during your interviews. Because
super good.
Because you know that some questions will have the potential to knock you off your feet.
Exactly.
And then I see that and I say, okay.
Or to trigger your emotions.
Okay. Well, Anna, it is 11:34. Normally I have to stop the program at 11:30, but I was that's why I was very quick on my phone. I got the message that we can go on. But I do want to ask you one specific thing, because I have to close down anyway. What is the lesson that you learned today, or maybe lessons that you learned today on how to answer questions during the interview? Is there something specific that you thought, yeah, okay, this is something that I can absolutely use for my further interviews?
Yeah, I think that one important lesson learned is first that I need to think about the answer, take myself time to think about the answer.
Yeah.
So not answering very fast.
Exactly, and ask questions.
And the other is to make questions back. So I have more time, more relaxation, and also know more details about what the person wants to know.
Yeah. So in what way did this live coaching session help you? Did it help?
Yeah, that helped me a lot. It was very insightful, and I think that there are things that I haven't noticed before, like the body language when telling things. For example, that about the language, how I immediately change my face or my gestures when changing the language. That's so impressive. I've never thought about that before. Yeah, that's really interesting for me and helps in real life to know how can I improve my acting in an interview, how to prepare better and don't let those things drag me down.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you as well for being part of the broadcast of today. So if you have any questions and if you have any other suggestions, please do give them, because every time that we do this show, we learn as well. Well, I say we, but this is the first time that Mark... I mean me. And but yeah, we learn every time, and the way that we can help totally helps us as well.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It was really nice to have this, and have to tell something. Yeah, it's kind of nervous with the camera and all that, being on the spot, but I loved it at the end. So it's a nice experience.
Well, I would say you're available more often. Let's keep in touch, and maybe we can use you as an example more often on how to specifically interact with certain subjects that has to do with not only with the job interview, but with finding a job.
Super good. Yeah? I'm in for that. Yeah.
Super. Okay, we'll stay in touch. Thank you so much, Ana Catalina, and maybe we'll see you next time.
Yes.
Okay.
Until the next Wednesday.
Take care.
Thank you. You too.
Ok, pues las últimas cosas nada más que vamos a hacer es, ¿cómo se llama? Decir, pues muchísimas gracias por ver el show de hoy. Mi nombre es Edith Fairhook. Hoy estuve con mi colega que se llama Mark Schwenke. También es coach y entrenador para el Ayuntamiento de Rotterdam. Por eso hoy lo hicimos en inglés. Bueno, el caso es de que hoy pues lo hicimos en inglés para también poder ayudar a nuestra amiga Ana, y pues tal vez para las próximas veces también vamos a hablar más sobre cómo usar tu body language, o sea, eso sí que no sé cómo decir en español, qué mensa soy, perdón. O sea, cómo usar el idioma de tu cuerpo. ¿Así se dice? No creo que se dice así, pero no importa. Bueno, el caso es de que les doy muchísimas gracias por ver. La próxima semana, el miércoles, miércoles siempre a las 10 de la mañana, que va a ser el 9 de septiembre de 2020, el año de la corona, pues vamos a estar de regreso y pues les doy muchísimas gracias y hasta la próxima vez. Le quiero dar muchas gracias a mi colega Mark Schwenke, como les dije.
Hasta luego.
El él no habla español, pero no importa, hoy lo hicimos en inglés. Bueno, el caso es de que nos pueden seguir aquí en Instagram o en YouTube o en el grupo de Holandizadas en Facebook, y hasta también lo pueden encontrar en mi Facebook, en mi perfil también. El documento de todas las preguntas que estamos usando para ver cómo hacer la entrevista, lo pueden encontrar también ahí, también lo puse en las páginas, así que bueno, yo digo hasta la próxima vez, hasta la próxima semana. Los veo los miércoles a las 10 de la noche, Encuentra Trabajo con Humor. Bueno, muchísimas gracias, hasta la próxima.
Chao.
Chao.